Hi, everyone, and welcome to HippyFitMom, the blog for every woman. Thank you so much for joining us for our very first episode of HippyFitMom, The Skinny, where we're engaging in awesome conversation with influential enthusiasts and mothers in the industry. So let's get into it. Hi, Tammy. Thank you so much for the time to speak with me today. Can you introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Hi, Amber. Um, I'm a 35-year-old mom of five and wife of one for 16 years almost. Um, about 8 years ago, I weighed 250 pounds. And over the course of about 15 months, I lost 95 pounds. And then, of course, we got pregnant again with number four. But after him, I lost an additional 10 pounds, which put me at 105. Um, After I got pregnant, after his birth, my mentor, who was like with me through that entire process, which with her was probably more about probably 13 months or so, really encouraged me to get certified to teach group fitness. And I was like, okay, cool. Um, After I lose some more weight. Because in my mind, I was like, I'm not ready to do this.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, long story short, I did. I started teaching Pilates, and then eventually I became certified to be a personal trainer, and I also have my BS in health and wellness. And then after that, we had an additional child, so we have five kids. So it's just this is just my joy. It's my passion to um, really be used to help um, other individuals, not just specifically women, though that is my heart, just get free. Because living in that obese body, as my doctor called it, I think that was my big catalyst, really. um, Prior to the women's retreat that I was at, was hearing my doctor tell me that I was obese. And I was kind of like, you know what, I used to like you and I really don't like you anymore. And I don't feel like we should use those kind of words because those words hurt people.
Yeah.
So, um, but anyway, it was shortly after that that I went on a women's retreat, and then just that entire process of changing how I thought about myself and food and exercise just started. And so it's my desire just to share that with other people.
So
So
you
kind of me.
you've lost 105 pounds in total. Like, that's a whole person. So how do you feel now, like afterwards? Like, how does that make you feel?
I feel amazing.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing in the beginning, I remember even before I got to that place with, where I was at my heaviest, I remember somewhere after our second baby, because I spent 3/4 of my 20s 200 plus. Um, and I remember just feeling just tired and like things on me hurting. And I'm like 23, 24 years old. And I'm like, clearly this is not right. And so I mean, it's just amazing to be able to, um, run with my kids, and for my kids to be like, I want to beat mom, like for me to be the standard for them to beat. And so I think that feels like really awesome. And my husband and I, we've run 2 half marathons together. I completed my
Oh,
first figure competition in March of this year. And so, living a healthy and fit lifestyle is just amazing. It's more than just what the outside looks like. It really does um, offer you so much more,
yeah.
in life. Just, yeah, enjoyment. Hello.
And you have 5 kids. So how do you balance having 5 kids and keeping your health and fitness on the forefront. Like that is should be hard to juggle, right?
I don't balance.
I'm sure it's
I,
hard.
it really is just like, a lot of times I get the way you ask the question is a little different. Typically, I get, how do you do it? And I'm like, dude, I don't do it. Like God does it, and I kind of just show up for the job. But I mean, I think the biggest thing is that it's preparation. It is, and what I found in that preparation is getting my kids involved. Like on Sundays, where I'm like, all right, we're gonna help mom do a real quick prep and just really getting all of my food together, and then after that, just making the time, just saying, okay, in spite of, like, especially when I was in school, it'd be like, I'm gonna get up at the crack of dawn and go and get my workout in, or um, going to the gym late at night. It really is just, it is having the mind that you say, I'm going to do this irregardless, um, and then just being prepared, and that really fosters something in your kids when you're able to kind of, they are able to watch you sort of prioritize things that are going to, better help you take better care of yourself. Then, obviously the hope is that they see those things and want to implement them into their lives,
That is
because
a
we can talk all day,
yeah,
but they look at what you do. Yeah.
definitely that is a really good life lesson for our kids to see us actually like achieving our goals and prioritizing, like you said. Now, I did want to ask, like, okay, you're really into health and fitness. Now, does your family, like your kids and your husband, do they embrace that side of you, or are they not that into it? Or
They are absolutely amazing. Like, and I really feel like the going through that competition prep for figure was just watching them do that with me
oh wow,
was, I mean, like having my husband get up, because I'm getting up at 3:45 in the morning to get prepared for work. And so, having him get up and make sure I've got my first meal, my breakfast, and or my daughter, I've got two that are runners, and like no harm intended, but we call them the Kenyan and the Ethiopian because they're pretty fast. So they are my kids. My kids just like I feel like that has a lot to do with the fact that um, I have prioritized that in my life. They enjoy fitness. Like my son will be like, "Mama, can I go like lift weights with you?" I'm like, "Whoa, my kid wants to lift weights." My son's like, "I want to lift weights with you, mom." So that's pretty cool. And then, yeah, because we're all in the mirror like, but yeah, and having my husband run, you know, both of those half marathons with me, and my daughter during that training time, for that, she ran like 11 miles with me, and I feel like, not only was it a good time for us to spend together, but for her to even realize that she could do it,
yeah,
and not just for kids. A lot of the times, it's people don't realize that you can do it. Like they don't understand that is within them, and I know and I understand that feeling because I remember being in that place where I felt like, I'd see the people on TV, and there used to be this show. It was uh, not the Extreme Makeover Home Edition. It was like Extreme Makeover, and like these people had like all this plastic surgery. Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about? And like, I remember watching that show, being like, yeah, like I need to be on there, and then they can like suck this out, and they can take that out, and they can put some things here, and they can, you know what I mean? Instead of just like my daughter's like cracking up. She's like, "Oh, really, mom?" But um, instead of having that mind that, what, I can do this. Like, I don't need anybody to rearrange my body parts. I can do this. It is within me. God has put it within me to be able to, just change. And that's the big thing, is changing the inside,
right, right,
because you can do everything you want to the outside. And literally, if the way you're thinking, um, and your heart, if your mind and heart don't change, then it doesn't matter. That's why there's so many diets. Because if it kind of worked to just deal on the outside, then the industry wouldn't be what it is. It wouldn't be $1 billion industry, because they'd be like, all right, we got the cure all, it's good, and we're done. But it really is about, your mind and your heart changing, and then realizing that you can.
Yeah.
Um, and that's like my thing is, you can't. There's nothing stopping you. Nothing. Like, I've even watched one of the competitions I went to. There was a wheelchair division. I'm like, seriously? Like, if you don't get your behind up and go do something, Tammy, like on days you don't feel like it, I'm really not, like, I really don't want to hear it.
But you did mention before that you ran with your husband. Now, does working out with your husband, does that benefit your relationship at home? Like, you know,
Um, okay, so my husband, uh, he likes cardio. And I like to lift weights. So it's been really, it's kind of been that, I guess in our house it's been kind of switched, because
like,
he would mu- he would much prefer, going to do cardio, and I'm all like, let's go lift weights. So I do love to run. Don't, I completely love running, but um, probably I think it's been 12 weeks. I think we're either going into week 12 or 13, that he's been coming to the gym and lifting weights. And so that's just been really awesome. It's been awesome for him to, and I think that's just part of, I feel like it's an extension really of like what marriage is. Like,
oh,
you and your other person, y'all kind of meet, and they have things that they like, and you have things that you like, and I'm super artsy and he's super not, and and so through the but through the years, like, when we first met, I was like, basketball, really? Like, who sits there and watches somebody run up and down the court with a ball? Seriously? Okay, and so now I'm all like at the basketball court going, dude, get in the lane. Like, and he's looking at me like, seriously? And so now, he's coming to the gym with me. And so it's awesome. And I feel like it for us, it shows growth in our relationship. And
definitely.
it's just been, because I was always the one, like, in the gym looking at the other couples going, all right, Jesus, I'm really dealing with envy right now, and I'm gonna need you to help me. 'Cause, like,
And plus,
so,
it gives you that good quality time with one another, I think. It's like,
well, it's just, I feel like it sort of reinforces or with the ability for you guys to kind of encourage each other, because that's what I've noticed he does. He's like, girl, you can lift more weights. And I'm thinking to myself, seriously? Like, you just got in here 13 weeks ago, really?
so now you mentioned this before. You just finished like your first fitness competition in March, and you placed second. Your first one, you placed second. Wow, that's so impressive. Like, how does that how does that make you feel that you were able to lose all that weight and compete in your first fitness competition and place second?
Okay, let's just discuss that. Never in my life did I think that my body fat percent would be like 12. Let's just talk about that first. Like, never. I never would have expected that. But it was just an amazing experience. It really was. As much as running is cathartic for me, and a great time for me to, just talk to God and pray, and really just kind of deal with, weekly issues or whatever, that process of self control and discipline, and really learning to kind of gut it out, which is what you do. Like, it is, I'm getting up at 3:45 in the morning. It is, I'm going to eat this same meal. Yes, it is what I had 3 hours ago, and yes, I will consume it again. And no, I really don't want, whatever my family would be eating at the time. And it was amazing. And those very same lessons, I feel, that self control, I see that in my life. I feel like that is what, one of the things that helped push me through, to finish, because the last little bit of school, was just hard. I mean, I was like, I might die. I don't know. And so the whole experience was really amazing and really, a confidence booster, which, even as you age, you can still those you can still use more reassurance and more just being able to look and be like, I did that, I completed that, how amazing that God brought me through that. And so it was a phenomenal experience. And by the time I actually got there, because I remember I was like, the weeks leading up to it, because it was like it was a 4-month process. So the weeks, yeah, that went through, let's discuss, that went through Thanksgiving and Christmas. And that particular Christmas, our entire family, my husband's entire family, we went up and we rented. It really wasn't a cabin. It was like it's a really nice house up in the North Georgia mountains. You're right. And so everybody's bringing food. And my daughter, one of my child that, my third baby, she was born Christmas night. So let's just discuss 3 cakes, and all of this food. And so, anyway, the process was a 4-month long process, going through 2 very major holidays that are completely consumed with food. Um, And, even through that, I remember thinking there were times where I was like, I just don't know. Like, can I do this? Like, is my body really going to change like that? Like, I know it is, but to reshape your body into being able to step on stage is a whole other animal. And so, by the time I actually got there, it was amazing, because all the jitters and the fear of walking around in what I call glorified underwear, um, it was gone, and and I was able to um, really, I guess, minister or kind of help the other girls who were like,
Aw.
feeling kind of jittery or whatever. And so that was a really neat moment.
Oh, so I have one last question before we wrap it up. Is what do you want other mothers to know about you that they might not know?
um, I don't have it together. I'll never forget, and I say that not as the assumption that Tammy must have it either, but I'll never forget this. I had a client, and she called me a cyborg, and I was like, "What?" But she was like, "Your clients need to know, that you struggle, and that because see, I'm living and I'm thinking you can see the struggle." But it really made me think about just in our culture how, and honestly, Facebook is like that, because you just see snippets of people's lives and it looks like, oh, that's good and this is good, unless they have a moment, right? And you've seen the Facebook moment where they're like, and I told her, unless they're having that moment,
Yeah, that moment.
everything, everything looks really good. And typically that's what people see when they see us.
Right.
They don't understand the journey and where, you started from. They kind of just see where you're at right now. And so I think that would be what I would leave people with, is that not only do I not have it together, nobody does.
Nobody does.
But in spite of the fact that we don't, you can. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever if I just posted that, amazingly enough. Whatever your deal is, whatever it is you want to do, to just get out of your own way and go do it, because you can. You don't have to worry about whether Susie, Sam, Joe, Bob, or Harry, could or couldn't do it. You can. And I feel like that's what I want people to know most about me. That I don't have it all together, but in spite of that, in spite of 5 kids and working in school and all of this crazy stuff, that you can. Yeah, somehow we got it done.
I believe
you know
you.
and so
I truly believe that myself too. Like no one's perfect, and I actually did a post on that about the Facebook thing, because we, as
Yeah,
women, we like to compare ourselves to other people, other women, and we're comparing ourselves to something that's not real. We see what
that's
people put
right.
on their Facebook pages, and it's not real. It's not reality, and we need to stop
That's right.
that.
Yeah, and just be okay wherever you're at. That's an awesome place to be
Yeah.
because you can't do anything but get better than wherever you are. Where I'm at right now, fabulous place to be because I can't do anything but just get better. I can improve on whatever's lacking. Yeah,
Oh, well, Tammy, that is a great, great takeaway, and I'm so appreciative to you for taking the time to speak with me today, and I really appreciate it. So, if others want to continue the conversation with you, where can they find you or contact you?
you can contact me on Facebook at Tammy Tammy Ezell Ezell, or you can go to my website and I'll be adding a blog there, and that's Bodyworks by Teze.weebly weebly.com. And so those are the best ways to contact me. And if you get me on Facebook, you can also find me on Instagram because they're linked together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Hippie Fit Mom, the Skinny, where we're obtaining insights and starting great conversations. And thank you for taking the time to speak with me today, Tammy. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to be part of the conversation, certainly leave your comments below. And until next time,
You can. He said so.
oh, I love it. I love it. See you later.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.